The woman said to the outsider, "All the world knows about Vaal. He causes the rains to fall and the sun to shine. All good comes from Vaal. We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but Vaal did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" "You will not certainly die," the outsider said to the woman, "for Vaal knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like Vaal, knowing good and evil."
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at episode 5 of season 2, first airing in October of 1967. It's Allegory-orama this week, with more than a touch of the biblical, so strap in, folks. It's Landru meets Tahiti. We beam down to Gamma Trianguli 6. And oh dear, that's an unusually high number of red shirts, isn't it? Oh goody, even more. Not to worry, I'm sure everything will be fine, while they take in the beauty of one of the finest sound stages they've ever visited, which Chekhov compares to Russia.
More like the Garden of Eden, Ensign.
Of course, Doctor. The Garden of Eden was just outside Moscow.
I just might stake out a claim and settle down here, Jim.
But oh no, the leader of the Sharks from West Side Story is felled by the begonia of death. Scotty also reports there's a minor energy drain on the ship.
But you say there's nothing to worry about.
Well, sir, I didn't exactly say that.
With the Enterprise in the slightest of danger, observant viewers are already aware this is the point Kirk decides to ignore the Prime Directive. Turns out there's a very strong artificial power source somewhere on the planet, and the Federation wants the native inhabitants checked out, and one of them seems to be following, hiding in the bushes. Well, Chekhov wastes no time making the moves on the young lieutenant we've never seen before and won't see again.
I've been wanting to get you in a place like this for a long time.
And for some reason, Spock is now a geologist. Oh no, back on the Enterprise, things are getting worse.
Our antimatter pods are completely inert. I couldn't stop it.
They're no better on the planet either. My favorite Spock reaction. Well, at this point, Kirk thinks it's best to GTFO, but oh no, the minor energy drain on the Enterprise is now a major issue and they can't leave.
Scotty, energize.
Spock is fine, by the way.
I see. Well, next time, just yell. I can step out of the way as quickly as the next man.
He did.
Jim!
And here is one of the ambiguous hints the Federation future may not have been entirely cashless.
Do you know how much Starfleet has invested in you?
122,200.
Never mind.
Don't tell me they don't use money in the 23rd century.
Well, we don't.
Well, the planet is taking notice of our little visitors and offers a hearty welcome. Yikes.
That way! I never saw anything like...
Oh my goodness. They capture the native who's been following them, Akuda, the leader of the feeders of Vaal.
All the world knows about Vaal.
Who they see as their god. Akuda is played by Keith Andes. Andes had a career in movie and television, showing up in Tora Tora Tora, for example.
Gentlemen, I am convinced the Japanese intend to attack at or shortly after 1 o'clock today.
Turns out Vaal is just a machine.
Vaal.
It's only a model.
Which reduces the chances of Kirk communicating with it as an equal to exactly 0. Spock is not having a good day at all.
A force field?
Obviously.
And it's off to the local village where Spock, of all people, shows a remarkable lack of cultural sensitivity.
It does something for you.
Yes, indeed it does, Captain. It makes me uncomfortable.
I'm Sayana. You have a name?
They get
Yes.
their revenge, though.
Spock. I am Spock.
Back on the ship, things have gone to hell, and Kirk suggests this.
Tie every ounce of power the ship has into the impulse engines. Discard the warp drive in the cells if you have to, and crack out of there with the main section, but get that ship out of there.
Which shows that the saucer separation lovingly depicted in the first episode of The Next Generation had its origin in the original series. There is a brief debate as to what course of action should be taken.
Doctor, these people are healthy and they are happy. Whatever you choose to call it, this system works, despite your emotional reaction to it. It might work for you, Mr. Spock, but it doesn't work for me.
But it is cut off by another report from Scotty.
Kirk here.
The argument can be made that Vaal is only acting in self-defense, protecting the planet against uninvited visitors. But of course the episode resolves itself in McCoy's favor, helped along by the fact Vaal attacks the Enterprise. This is always a deal-breaker for Kirk.
All available power has been channeled into the impulse engines. We have 12 minutes before entering atmosphere.
It seems the locals may be centuries old and have no need for children.
Ah, replacements. None are necessary. They are forbidden by Vaal.
But
This leads to a little game of dodge the censor.
I mean, if they don't know anything about... I mean, how is it done?
Well, I believe it's safe... safe to assume that they would receive the necessary instructions.
From a machine? That I'd like to see.
And Vaal himself is very prudish.
Ah, yes, the holding, the touching. Vaal has forbidden this.
Well, there goes paradise.
It is pleasant, Makara.
Yes.
Although less well known today, the actor here is David Soul, who would later go on to star in the series Starsky and Hutch from 1975 to 1979.
Vaal, he is angry.
The law is plain. I have given you the words of Vaal. Do you beg the lightning to strike?
Well, it's sex that finally gets Vaal quite irate, and he instructs the villagers in the fine art of homicide.
Come up from behind the stranger and do this.
Meanwhile, Kirk does attempt to speak with Vaal, but Vaal is having none of it.
We are on a peaceful mission.
Oh no. Poor Spock. Well, the feeders of Vaal take out our last red shirt, but are quickly subdued. With Vaal now peckish, Kirk pulls an Apollo's temple on Vaal, blasting it with phasers from the Enterprise.
Vaal is dead.
It's all smiles and giggles as the Federation gets another planet. And no doubt a bit more.
Would you mind being careful where you throw your rocks, Mr. Spock?
This could be a find of some importance. In large quantities, it could be a considerable source of power.
We end with another attempt to add some nuance.
And in a manner of speaking, we have given the people of Vaal the apple, the knowledge of good and evil, if you will, as a result of which they, too, have been driven out of paradise.
But it is cut short for comedic effect.
Doctor, do I understand him correctly? Are you casting me in the role of Satan?
And a reference to how the Spock character was received by viewers in some areas of the United States.
Ooh, my, you are a mean one, aren't you?
Is there anyone on this ship who even remotely looks like Satan?
Thank goodness people aren't so touchy now.
Then Vaal, the old god, said, "See, the people have become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Now then, they might put out their hand to take from the tree of life also, and eat and live forever. Thus is the word of the Federation."